Hi guys, this is Debarshi Kundu again, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you the second programming problem. It's not a big deal. So in this tutorial I have decided that I'm going to teach two important concepts: input and output, console input and console output specifically. We're not going to do file input and file output here, that's a little bit more complicated. But console input and console output, cin and cout in C++. And we're going to do this, learn this through a program right here. So write a program that displays the following pieces of information, each on a separate line: your name, your address with city, state, and zip code, your telephone number, and your college major. Use only a single cout statement to display all of this information. So we've got to remember, you use only a single cout statement to display all of this information. Now, I've decided to change up the problem a little bit, be a little creative, and implement this as an opportunity to teach input. I think that input is also a necessary concept to learn in C++, and we could teach that here. So instead of me assigning a variable with a certain string to a certain string, or a certain string to a certain variable, sorry, I can actually change it up a bit and make the user input that string, make the program input that string from the user. And this in turn will give me an opportunity to teach you both concepts. So let's start. And I already have a program open called personalinformation.cpp in Eclipse or any other IDE that you're using. Please open up a new project and call it personal information. And in Eclipse, like I showed you how to do last time, just create new C++ project, name the project whatever you want. Remember to select empty project and don't select cross GCC. Select the other tool chain that you have, not cross GCC. And so what you want to do now is actually think about what this problem is saying. We want to input the name, address with city, state, and zip code, telephone number, and college major. There's several ways to do this, but we're going to create, the way I want to show you is we're going to create about 6 different strings. And you might be saying, wait, Debarshi, why 6 different strings? I mean, there are only 4 variables, right? Your name, address, telephone number, and college major. Well, not exactly. If you look at it, this problem asks you for your address with city, state, and zip code. That city, state, and zip code can be considered 3 discrete separate variables. So the easiest way to implement this, the easiest way, is to simply use 6 variables. It takes a little bit more space, it's a little bit more inefficient, but when you're starting out like we are right now, it's okay to learn using those variables. Later on, you'll learn how to implement this program using 4 variables, using something called cin.getLine. Cin.getLine is a method that is included in C++ that allows you to get program input with white space. So the traditional cin object doesn't allow for white space, but cin.getLine accommodates white space, so that's good. But that's for a separate tutorial, and for this one we're simply gonna do this in a plain and simple way, not caring much about efficiency. So we're gonna declare a string name, and this is a string variable, by the way. So for some of you guys, in order to use string, depending on the version of C++ you have, you might have to put #include string, or pound include string.h. I don't really have to do that, but I'll do it anyways. Apparently my compiler will allow me to run and process strings without that preprocessor directive. But still, just for old time's sake, I'll do that. So then I'm going to make 3 different strings. String city, comma, state, comma, zip. These are 3 separate string variables. They make up the address, but these are 3 separate string variables. And then your telephone number. We can call this string telephone, or telephone if you want to make things short. You can call it whatever you want. In case you want to know more about variables, I have an introduction to variables video on my other playlist, and I'm going to include it on this playlist that I'm currently teaching too. And then your college major. So we can create a string variable known as call major, or whatever you want to call it. Again, whatever you want as long as it follows the variable naming conventions. So since we're going to teach input here, all you got to do is cn name, cn city, cn state, cn zip, cn telephone, and cn call major. Okay. Well, here's the thing though. We have 6 different CNs, and when we're doing programming, the programmer has no idea what to enter. I mean, it doesn't display any output to the screen. So if I were to run this program right now the way it is, I'd go to project, build project, and then I'd run. And what the heck? I mean, the program is running, but I don't know what to do. I can type in stuff. But as you can see, I have so many input prompts. I don't know what to input. It's like white space. And then suddenly it terminates because after 6 variables, after inputting those 6 variables, it will terminate. But we want our program to be user-friendly. So we're gonna implement a cout statement. And if you're thinking that we can't do that in this program because there will be multiple cout statements when this program said 1, remember the problem only says use only a single cout statement to display all of this information. So to display the information, we can only use 1 cout statement. But to input it, we can use as many cout statements as we like, just for the sake of making it simple for the user, so that user understands what variable is being inputted. So we could just say cout enter name endl, and this will go to the next line. And then we could say cout enter city. And that will input city, cinput will input city, cin, city. Then we could say cout enter state. It'll cin state. And then cout enter zip. And everyone knows what zip is, so we're not going to bother saying zip code, but yeah. And next to the last one, cout, enter telephone number. Put an ENDL there, which will take it to the next cout statement, the next line. And then we could put, finally, enter college major. And then just press end line. Okay. So if we were to run this program right now, what you'd get is we'd get different prompts. We'd get an enter name, and we'd put Debarshi, that's my name, enter city. I'm going to say Houston, state, Texas. We're just going to put a random address, 665 or whatever. Enter telephone number, 346-852-4532. No, by the way, that's not a real telephone number. Enter college major, computer science. And it'll terminate there because I didn't give anything else to output for the program. Remember that this program is supposed to display all this information, these variables, in one cout statement. So then we go here, and in the last program we outputted multiple lines using cout, but we did that using multiple cout statements, like using cout and then putting ENDL when you're done, and then another cout statement. But we can't do that here. We have to use cout. So how are we going to use that? We're going to have to use one of those backslash delimiters that come with C++. So what's going to happen here is we're going to create a traditional string over here, name. We're going to put it in quotes, and we're going to say quote name colon and put a space there because we want everything to look nice. And then we're going to put two left arrows, or two less than signs if you want to call it that. You can call it that. And then all you got to do is simply put in name. Okay, but don't just go in line there and print another cout statement, because that's not what the program asked us to do. So now that we've got this, how are we going to make the next variable display on another line instead of display on the same line? So what we're going to do is this. We're going to first ask for the next city or whatnot, the next variable, city. So we're going to put city. And here's what you got to do to go out to the next line, though. You put /n. That's it. So this is a delimiter, /n. And what it does is when the program sees /n within these quotes, C++ realizes that you're asking to put a new line. This is a new line character, and it will automatically shift whatever string is after it onto a new line. And if you don't believe me, we are going to run this right now. So let's pretend like that's all we have to print, which we don't. We're going to print more stuff, but just run that. And then let's scroll into our program here. Enter name. We're going to enter Debarshi. enter city. We're going to say Houston, Texas, random zip code, random telephone number, and computer science. So as you can see, we haven't finished with the other variables yet, but in our program, we have name as printed here using this cout statement right here, this first quotation mark here, and then it prints out the variable name. And then what we've got so far is it prints out this city right here, this string. But for some reason it doesn't print /n. That's because /n is a delimiter. It allows, it basically signals the program, or it signals C++ to, or the compiler, to put whatever text is beside it onto the next line. And that's exactly what we did. City was supposed to be here, but because I put a /n, it went to the next line. And you could take off the /n and see how it's run, and it would have name, Dabarshi, and city all on one line. That obviously isn't what we wanted. So /n does the trick. And you just continue doing this for every variable. So say enter. So we just put city there, and then we do the same thing for the other variables. So it says enter state. Oh, sorry. I'm not entering state here. So then we can just put state. And remember to put the /n before the state. So after 2 less than signs, after that quote, and then we can put in the variable state. 2 more less than signs, and we could put in quotations zip. And don't forget the /n before. You can technically put the /n after, but you don't want to do that in this program, mainly because if you put the /n after this quotation mark, after the text in this quotation here, what it will do is it will say name, and then it will put the input prompt on the next line, and then it's going to print out the next quotation, and then it'll go to the next line and do the same thing again, and that's not what you want. So for the purposes of this program, /n goes before the rest of the quote. Zip. And then you put telephone number. And /n before that. 2 less than signs, or left arrows, whatever you want to call it, and you put tel number. Let's see, did I actually call it tel number? Oh, telephone, sorry. Make sure to name your variables correctly. Telephone. Then you use 2 less than signs, and you put college major. So I'm going to intentionally leave out the /n at the end and show you what happens if you don't use the /n. I mentioned it, but I really want to show it to you. And then we're just going to put call major, because that's the variable I named it. If you named it something different, that's okay. You can put //endl if you want to right now, but there's really no need, because we're not going to do anything else after this. We're not going to print anything else onto the screen after this. So it's not necessary. So then press this big green button right here, press OK. Enter name. We're going to zoom into the input. Barshi. Enter city, Houston. Enter state, Texas. Blah, blah, whatever. We're going to put a random number for that. Computer science as my college major. And here's what happened. Take a look at this. We have a name, Debarshi over here, and as you can see in this cout statement, the name just started out, that's the first quote, and we put the variable in there. And then we have /n city. And for this /n, it went to the next line. It printed city, colon on the next line. And then it printed the city, Houston. And then it went to state. And we had a /n before the state, and it did the same thing. For each and every quotation, if I had a /n before words, it would print whatever text was after that onto the next line and ignore that /n. But for this last quotation, since I omitted the /n, college major right here, since I omitted the /n, after zip code, there was a /n before telephone number. So it went to the next line. But suddenly, this didn't go to the next line because I omitted /n before college major. So as you can see now, I have telephone number, and right away it goes to college major, and that's on the same line. It looks like a cacophony of characters. But this is an easy fix. All you got to do over here is, let me zoom out, and you put /n before that college major. Run it again. It will automatically save now. Enter name. And then we're going to enter a city, Houston. State, Texas. And then we're going to do to random telephone number. Computer science as a college major. And voila, it actually works. One mistake though, and this is what I was talking about earlier in the in this tutorial. I was talking about C input. It can only take in regular characters after it terminates at the white space. So to explain what I mean here, I said enter this program. For this program, I said enter college major. I put computer science. There's a space between computer and science. Well, because of this, when I entered my college major for the computer science, and I have that C input statement for my college major right here. Well, this C input statement, this traditional CIN, can only get what is before the white space. So before the white space, there is computer. So for college major in this case, I only got to print out computer. In another tutorial, I'll teach you how to use cin.getLine, which is basically an implementation of C input that allows me to get strings which contain white space in it. It does not use the white space as a terminating character. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this tutorial. I encourage you guys to subscribe. I encourage you guys to like or even dislike my videos. And you can email me at debarshikundu0@gmail.com if there are any suggestions that you want to give me, or if there's something you guys want to learn that I might be able to help with. Thank you very much. This is Debarshi Kundu, signing out.